NerdWallet, Credit Karma, and WalletHub all promise the exact same thing: find you the best credit card for your situation, whether that's cash back, travel rewards, or building credit from scratch. But these three tools don't operate the same way behind the scenes, and understanding that difference will genuinely change how much weight you should give their top recommendations before you apply for anything. Let's start with how each platform actually makes money, because this shapes everything about what gets recommended to you first. NerdWallet and Credit Karma both earn commissions from the credit card companies whose products they recommend. When you click through their site and get approved for a card, they get paid a referral fee by that card issuer. This is standard practice across the entire affiliate marketing industry, but it means their top recommendations aren't purely about what's mathematically best for your specific situation. To be clear, this doesn't mean their recommendations are bad or dishonest. Most of these platforms have policies requiring accurate representation of card terms. But when two cards are roughly comparable in value, the one offering a higher commission to the platform may get placed more prominently, simply because that's how the underlying business model is structured to generate revenue for the site. WalletHub works differently from both of those platforms. Their recommendations are explicitly not influenced by advertising partnerships, which means when they rank a card highly, it's based on their own internal scoring criteria rather than which company happens to be paying the most for placement that month. This is a meaningful structural difference if you specifically want advice that isn't shaped by who's currently paying for visibility on the page. Now let's talk about scale and breadth of options, because this matters more than people initially assume when comparing these platforms. WalletHub covers over 1,500 different card offers, which is a notably broader database than what most competing comparison sites maintain in their system. If you're looking for a specific niche card, like one tailored to a particular airline alliance or a card with unusual foreign transaction fee waivers, WalletHub's larger database gives you a meaningfully better shot at actually finding it. NerdWallet, on the other hand, is genuinely known for clear, well-written editorial content that goes deeper than a simple ranked list of offers. If you already know roughly what type of card you want, and you're trying to understand the fine print, the specific terms, and the real-world trade-offs of a particular card, NerdWallet's writing tends to be more thorough and considerably easier to follow than a pure algorithmic ranking with minimal explanation attached. Their content team writes original reviews that walk through actual use cases, like whether a specific card makes sense for someone who travels frequently versus someone who mostly shops for groceries and gas each month. This kind of contextual explanation is something a pure database or ranking algorithm genuinely struggles to replicate at the same depth and nuance. Credit Karma's biggest strength is that it's completely free to use and gives you ongoing access to your credit score and full credit report monitoring, alongside its card recommendations. If your main goal is tracking your overall credit health over time, not just finding one single card right now, Credit Karma genuinely serves double duty in a way that the other two platforms don't emphasize nearly as heavily inside their core product experience. This ongoing monitoring feature means you can watch your credit score change over months and years, see what factors are helping or hurting it, and get alerts if something suspicious appears on your credit report, like a new account you didn't personally open. For people who want a single app that handles both credit monitoring and card discovery together, this combination is genuinely convenient and hard to replicate elsewhere for free. So which should you actually use given everything we've covered? If you want the broadest, most structurally unbiased database of card options available, start with WalletHub, since their business model doesn't depend on advertiser placement fees at all. If you want in-depth editorial explanations of the specific cards you're already seriously considering, NerdWallet is genuinely stronger in that particular area of the comparison. And if ongoing credit monitoring matters just as much to you as finding your next card, Credit Karma covers both needs inside one completely free platform, which is genuinely hard to beat on pure value if credit tracking is part of your overall goal. None of these three platforms is objectively the best across every single category, and that's worth being upfront about before you pick one. The real lesson here isn't that one tool is bad and another is unquestionably good. It's that understanding how a recommendation engine actually makes its own money changes how much weight you should reasonably give its top suggestion. Use these tools as a genuinely useful starting point for your research, then always read the actual card terms and conditions yourself directly from the issuer before applying for anything at all. One final honest note before we finish: card terms, interest rates, and reward structures change frequently, sometimes multiple times within a single calendar year. Whatever a comparison site tells you today should always be verified against the card issuer's own current terms page before you submit an application, since comparison sites don't always update instantly the moment issuers change their offers. The credit card industry itself has also become considerably more competitive in recent years, with more issuers specifically targeting niche audiences like students, small business owners, or people rebuilding credit after financial hardship. This means the right card for your situation might not even be one of the heavily promoted mainstream options that dominate most comparison sites' front pages by default. If your situation is even slightly unusual, whether that's limited credit history, self-employment income, or wanting a card specifically for a narrow spending category like groceries, it's worth using all three of these platforms together rather than relying on just one alone. Cross-referencing recommendations across multiple sources tends to surface options that any single platform's algorithm might rank lower simply due to its own particular scoring priorities and business incentives. That's the honest, complete breakdown of all three platforms. Subscribe for more transparent looks at the financial tools that claim to work for you, including exactly how they actually make their own money behind the scenes.